All right, so the next EP we're going to be talking about is Nine Inch Nails with the EP Broken. So this was the follow-up to their 1989 debut, Pretty Hate Machine. It was released in September of 1992, and it is 8 songs, 31 minutes. So this EP sees the band leaning more into the more metal side of industrial, which is probably why it's my favorite thing that Nine Inch Nails has ever released. It starts with the song Pinion, which is just an ambient intro track, before getting much more aggressive with Wish. Now, Wish, this is already much more up-tempo than everything on Pretty Hate Machine. Heavy on the synths and has a nice, crisp production sound. This is definitely what I think of when I think of industrial metal. This shit still sounds like it's from the future, even 32 years later. This is my favorite Nine Inch Nails song of all time.
Yeah, this is just a straight explosion right from the beginning. Aggressive riffs, pounding drums. Reznor's vocals are filled with angst and frustration. The song has a relentless energy to it. It's a standout on the album and in their entire discography.
Yes, and I think you captured it there. Angst and frustration.
Yeah.
Those are some qualities that you can't necessarily recapture once they're gone. We've seen it time and time again with a lot of bands, and I think that's what makes early Nine Inch Nails just so much better.
It's a moment in time. It's a headspace that he was in, and once you're out of that space, you just can't convey that anymore.
So I'm going to apologize in advance because we're going to get off topic here for a minute when we talk about this next song.
Oh, no, here we go.
The next song is Last. I've been waiting to talk about this
for 99
ever
episodes.
since we started this podcast. So, yes, 99 episodes.
He's got 99 problems, and they all start with this song.
So, first of all, this is one of the best songs that the band have ever released. It's pissed off, like Justin said, but it's also catchy as hell. However, the thing that stands out most about this is the main guitar riff.
Okay.
It's fucking sick. It's catchy. It's going to get your head bobbing. And apparently, some bands like it so much that they decided to just steal the entire thing.
Do you realize we're talking about this band 2 weeks in a row now?
Are we?
Yeah, because I brought him up on the Alice in Chains episode because of that song title.
Well, here we go.
And here we go. The lead-in. What band are we talking about? South America's favorite band.
Yes. If you've never heard Godsmack's song Time Bomb from their first album, it is the single most blatant ripoff that I have ever heard. Ever.
Wait. Even more than Ice Ice Baby?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Not only do they use the exact same guitar riff, but Sully sings his verse in an almost identical cadence to Trent Reznor. Godsmack, unfortunately, have almost ruined this song for me because every time I hear it, I just get pissed off that no one called them out on this bullshit.
You just did.
Some of you that are listening to this right now rock out to this fucking song and don't even call them out on the fact that they fucking stole the whole goddamn thing. Anyways, the original song is absolutely badass. That's why Godsmack stole it.
You hear that, Sully? You stole it.
But this song,
You midget.
It really does encompass all the things that I like about Nine Inch Nails, namely a shit ton of aggression.
Yeah. Crushing heavy riffs layered with all the industrial noises and an absolutely frantic Reznor in this song.
Yes, sir.
I'll have to listen to them back to back though, because I don't hear it. But
oh, you will hear it. You will hear it. And listen, I'm serious here.
I'm not saying it's not there.
We tell you guys all the time to check stuff out and let us know your thoughts. But if there was ever a time that you're going to follow up on some shit we said,
hit pause right now.
Listen to these two songs back to back and tell me that they are not almost identical and recorded many, many years apart. Because I think that Godsmack album probably came out in like 99 or 2000.
I think it's 98, but even so, it's like 6 years after. And there's no excuse for it if it is.
No, and these guys were totally listening to Nine Inch Nails back then.
Yeah, and Alice in Chains too, apparently.
Yeah.
That's where they found their band name.
Help me, I am in hell.
What? How fucking ironic is that? Sometimes you can't write this.
Just a little interlude track. Doesn't really add anything to the album, in my opinion, but it's here. Happiness in Slavery is next.
I would say that builds a sense of unease, though, leading into this track. Like,
I mean,
it
I
does-
didn't dislike it,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't care if it wasn't there.
It's that filler stuff.
Happiness in Slavery, though, this is probably the closest to anything from Pretty Hate Machine that is on this album. It's a much more slow tempo song with more of the kind of traditional industrial elements with a little bit of the new wave type stuff that was in the first album. Good song still, but a little bit different than the other stuff on this EP.
The instrumental section in the middle was really cool, and Reznor's got some creepy vocal added to it. There's a driving groove to this track.
Yeah, definitely. Gave Up. This is a fun one. My favorite part's about midway through when he's using the robot-like distortion on his voice with the line, "Covered with hope and Vaseline, still cannot fix this broken machine. Watching the hole, it used to be mine. Just watching it burn in my steady, systematic decline."
Yeah, that effect on his vocal has it sound like he's drowning or he's underwater or he's gargling something. I don't know.
It's weird.
Very strange. Much like Wish, there's aggressive guitars and pounding drums, and they create a sense of urgency, like you're being chased by something. It's kind of a creepy song.
The next song is Physical, You're So. So this one is a cover of The Ants, if you weren't aware of that.
I don't like ants.
It's definitely a much different take on the song sonically, as the original is much more punk and doesn't really capture the dark atmosphere that Reznor was able to capture on this one. Good cover though, and that's what I look for out of a cover is make it your own.
So I really dislike all the feedback noise at the beginning. When that goes away and you get this like super distorted guitar that pretty much continues for the entire song, and that pretty much ruined it for me.
Yeah. You might like the original better then.
I don't know. I don't like ants at all. They fucking were all over my bathroom today. Fucking pain in the ass. that time of year.
You suck.
Yeah, ants suck.
Suck is the next song. I think they picked a good one to close it out. If there were a title track, this would have been a good pick for the title track. It's a perfect blend of the slower tempo, Pretty Hate style stuff, with the more aggressive and heavy sound that he was going for on this EP. This is also the heaviest song guitar-wise on the entire EP, I think.
Yeah, and there's also a heavier, more aggressive chorus, but honestly, by this point, after that last track, I was ready for it to be done. You may or may not know, but I've never really been a big fan of Nine Inch Nails outside of a few songs that I do really like Wish. It just gets really weird and often is just kind of noisy for me. I guess I'm not really an industrial fan necessarily, even though I love Fear Factory. That's a different kind of industrial. This didn't do much to change my opinion on Nine Inch Nails either. Wish is a great track. It really is. The rest is pretty hit or miss for me. But it's not terrible. Just not my vibe. So I give it a 3.5 out of 6.
Hey, that's kind of better than I thought you were going to give it, so...
Yeah.
So I've mentioned this before. I'm also not the biggest fan of Nine Inch Nails' discography as a whole. I've never been able to get behind much of their work after the Downward Spiral.
It was a downward spiral after that.
It always felt like more filler than actual songs to me, and I know for a lot of people that's blasphemy, and they really appreciate the genius of Trent Reznor and Nine Inch Nails and all of these atmospheric and ambient tracks that he creates. But I prefer to hear real songs with actual structure when I'm listening to Nine Inch Nails. And that's what they gave me here. And that's what they gave me on Pretty Hate Machine. And that's why that is my favorite era of the band. This is all meat and potatoes with no bullshit. It's nearly perfect. For me, it's a 5.5 out of 6.
Nice. I will say, just because you're experimenting and being weird doesn't necessarily mean you're good. And that often gets confused,
Well,
especially these days.
It's the...
That's not a knock on Reznor, but
No,
as the discography went on, it did get very, very weird. And the hardcore fans loved that even more just because it was weird. But it's like, was it actually good songs?
For me, it's the duct tape
You know?
banana scenario again. I think that, there's something cool about jumping on and feeling like you're the only person that gets it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just not good. You know, I mean, sometimes it's not. Looking at you, Melvins.
Sleep token.
I mean, I get it. Maybe they do hear something that we don't, but a lot of the newer stuff, especially like it's newer, like it's not fucking new. The shit came out probably when I was in middle school.
Yeah,
but
at this point, we're talking 20 plus years ago.
Everything
Yeah.
from The Fragile on, to me, the majority of the stuff from The Fragile on, always felt like it was just like movie scores.
Yeah, and he did a
which-
lot of that throughout
which
the
is
time.
not
so,
something
yeah,
I
it's just-
want to. That's not what I'm going to listen to for funsies. Like that doesn't work.
No. If you want to do movie scores, release it under the Trent Reznor name, not the Nine Inch Nails name.
Yeah.
You know?
So
But
you know,
it is what
whatever.
it
I
is.
know a lot of people love Nine Inch Nails. So let us know why we're wrong about their newer stuff, but also let me know why I'm right and that fucking Broken is one of the best things they've ever done.
It probably is. 3.5 is one of the higher scores I'll give this band.